Sunday night with Sylvia Camille. Yeah. Welcome back, you guys, to another amazing night with yours truly, Sylvia Camille. And it's been a minute, guys. It's been a minute that I've been actually live in my little room upstairs. And I hope, look like I'm having internet. Might have to slide and open this door real quick because I do not want the internet to go down. But it's been a minute because Sylvia Camille has been busy. I've been in this place, sanctified, and on Sundays during the week, and also rehearsing during the week. I just been busy, but that's okay because I've been booked, blessed, and busy. But hey, tonight I'm live in my little room upstairs in my house, and where I love to do Sunday Night Live. Okay, so if you saw my Instagram and my Sylvia Camille post, tonight's discussion is about, of course, the slap. We got to talk about the slap, people, because every time I see somebody, I just want to ask them and find out what's their opinion. But before we do that, we got a word of the week. It's Palm Sunday. Next Sunday, we're going to be celebrating Easter. Praise the Lord. Yes. Another Easter, Resurrection Sunday. We are so grateful and thankful for all the things that God is doing for us. But guess what our word of the week? I was wrestling with the word of the week. Because at first I was like, slap. That's the word, slap. Okay, you know what a slap is. When you physically hit someone in their face. Okay, it had other definitions. Slap a piece of paper on the ground, all that. But I want to, of course, find out the positive, pull out the positive around slap. But I really couldn't come up with nothing that was that good to say that's the word of the week next week. You can slap your dream into shape. How about that? You still been working on those dreams because I have my dream pillow right here. But I chose anger. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. It's going to lead up to our discussion after we talk about what did you do for spring break. Because, girl got to go back to work tomorrow. Go back to work. Yay! Spring break is over in the morning, starting at 5 a.m. when I wake up. But anywho, the word of the week is anger. And anger is defined as a strong feeling of annoyance, displeasure, or hostility. Okay, just sit in that for a moment. Sit in that. Oh, I got a comment already. Yes, welcome. Hey, Shirley. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for joining. We're going to have us a nice discussion. Call somebody and tell them they don't want to miss discussion about the slap because I want to know. I want people to talk to me in the chat. I'm going to tell them thank you for tuning in. Yes. I want you to think about that for a moment. I want you to think about the word of the week, anger. In its definition, a strong feeling of annoyance, displeasure, or hostility. First of all, before I start our topic, we are all human, Human. We all get angry sometimes. Now, how we display our anger on another note is something totally different. So, of course, our topic, Will Smith and Chris Rock. Did Will handle his anger the right way? Who am I to judge? I'm not, because I'm not going to be standing at the pearly gate when Will get ready to go to sleep. When his dash is closed, I am not going to be with Peter and the heavenly angels asking him about all this. No. So I shall not judge. I will give my opinion, and I would love for you to give yours in the chat and talk along with me. Hey, Grace, how you doing? So nice to see you. Thank you for joining. I want you to talk to me about this because it's real deep, guys. It is real deep. There are some layers of this that I think everyone needs to, take a step back and really let's unpack the true anger. That's why I chose the word anger for this week. Of what was going on with Will Smith. And then it might be some anger with Chris Rock. We just don't know yet until he really fully comes out and have a one-on-one interview with somebody. And I'm hoping Mama Oprah can sit down and have an interview with both of them, but who knows. But this week, for the word of the week, anger, I want you to not display any anger. And if you have any anger that's pent up inside of you, I want you to release it in a positive way. Because I can recall, I asked my husband this question. I said, have you ever felt like slapping somebody? And he was honest. He was like, yes, Camille, I have. And I said, I have too, because that's what the meaning says, a strong feeling of annoyance. Somebody was annoying me. Like, my nerves, I put up with it long enough. I just got tired of their mouth. I chose not to slap them, of course, not. And I was like, this is going to be a big old mess. So I chose to ignore it. I chose to ignore it. And yes, Sherman, mental health is real and needs to be dealt with. Prayers for Will Smith. You already chiming in. You already chiming in. Yes, I love it. I love it. That's one of my things I want to pull out from this discussion. It's about mental health. And Will displays something to the world that is something he has probably been doing all his life. So with that, okay, that's true. He's probably dealing with that, and he did not know how to deal with it. So I want to give, first of all, I got some pictures. Can you all believe I had these pictures from 20 years ago? I posted on my Instagram. This is when Will and Jada first went to the Oscars 20 years ago, when they were first invited to go to the Oscars, and I was in the media center. I was a media specialist at the time. And I clipped this out because I was like, this is history. I was so happy and excited for them. I was so happy and excited. And this was the night that Halle Berry won the first Oscar. And Denzel. So this was 20 years ago. And the day after the slap, I was in the media center cleaning up with the media pair. Because she was going to throw away some stuff. And I was like, look what is in this drawer. And 20 years later, Will finally won his Oscar. The night that was supposed to be the most spectacular night of his career, of his life, is to finally win the Oscar. And what happens? Will decides to get out of his seat, walk on stage, and slap Chris Rock. Okay. When I saw it happen, I was like, okay, is this really happening? I was like, yes, this is real. My husband was like, no, I think this is fake. No. So before we start judging people, I would just want everyone to unpack the situation. And I've watched so many commentaries and feelings and opinions of what people think. And people are entitled to their own opinion because it was wrong. And we have seen worse. We saw Rodney King drag down the streets of LA. Okay. We saw the police officers put their knee. I can't think of the guy's name. And he died. Okay. But what I'm saying is, I don't want us to be so quick to, just throw Will to the wolves. Because first, number one, he's Black. And he has accomplished a lot in Hollywood. And that's why I'm wearing my Hollywood t-shirt. I got my Hollywood t-shirt. Because if you know my story, I did not want to go to college. I want to go straight to Hollywood. But my mama said, no, I got to go to school. I got to get a backup. So, okay, that's another story for another damn time. But I'm wearing Hollywood because right now that's Hollywood talking about this. Okay, the Oscars, you slap somebody on national TV, 15 million people watching, two black men, a black man go on stage, okay? And remember, years ago, we were not invited to the Oscars. So, it's a lot of how people feel about this topic. Some people saying, Will Smith gonna set us back because you slapping a black man on national TV. Hey, Dr. Balaam, how you doing? Thank you for joining it. Hi. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on Sunday Night Live. Chime in, whenever you like. So I want to give y'all some background history. I don't know if y'all know the history about Will. And then we're going to talk a little bit more deeper. I'm going to pull out some points that I want to talk about and ask you some questions. No, we are not going to give him a pass, Sherman. That is right. We are not giving him a pass because he's Black. We cannot do that. We got to hold him. He has consequences. Okay. But did y'all know his name was Willard Carroll Smith II? Okay. Y'all know he's an American actor, rapper, and film producer. He was born September 25th, 1968, 3 years old. Okay. In Philadelphia. He's married, got 3 children. Okay, but I don't know if a lot of people knew that Will too didn't want to go to college. He was like me. Now he went ahead and went to Hollywood. Well, I did. I listened to Mama, and I went to Morris Brown College and got me a degree in early childhood education. And I've had a wonderful time in the education for the last gonna be 29 years in August 2022. 29 years. But the point what I'm trying to bring out of this, Will decided against attending college so he could pursue a career in music, which we know he did, and he was very successful. And from that, he started, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And at that time, he was the only Black young teenager who had his own sitcom, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Fast forward 20 years, he's made multiple blockbuster movies. Men in Black, we know that. The one with Martin Lawrence, Bad Boys, which we all love. And it's talk now that Bad Boys 4 is not coming out. But I would just like for us to take a moment and walk down Will Smith's journey to the night of the Oscars. Everything that he had to go through just to get to that level. And I know it's not right. It's not right. We already know that it was wrong. He should not have slapped him. But we have not walked his shoes. We have not auditioned. And as an actor, the pressure and the level that he, like some people say, well, he chose that life, Camille. He chose that life. So, whatever. But don't forget, he's human first. We're all human. We all are human. And that's the part I want people to get from this. I'm happy that it happened. And some people might say, why are you happy that happened, that Chris Rock got exposed? Because when you have two people that high in the industry, some level of exposure to me needs to happen so other things can unpack. For example, as Sherman said, mental health. Will could be wrestling with mental health all his life, but no one may have addressed it with him. It's just pushed underneath the rug because he's Will Smith, and we don't want people to know because we want y'all to go to the movies and buy. We know he can sell out a box office So to that level, I'm kind of happy and relieved for Will because he was carrying a lot. 20 years you've been on this journey, the pinnacle of your life. You get to the Oscars. I knew he was going to win. I was like, they got to give it to him now. Okay, the boy is bad. Just give him his props. I think he should have got it when he did Muhammad Ali, Pursuit of Happiness, and he did. And on top of that, your wife having an entanglement, the whole world knows about it, with your son's best friend. He is carrying a lot. He has carried a lot. And I love what Denzel said, which we all have to self-reflect on. Denzel said, the devil will come after you when you are at your highest. If we all self-reflect on about our goals and our journey on this life and our dreams, and then we get right there, it's right there in your face, you've accomplished, you've done it, and then out of nowhere, some type of emotion or some person, some comment, they come and it takes away. Because some people are upset because what happened, what Will did, it took away from Will Packer producing the Oscars. Yeah, because we're not talking about that. We're talking about the slap. So I get all that. But we're talking about Will and Chris. Now, on another note, some companies saying, well, Jada should have, like a Black woman, I think, had that been Karen, I sent out there in the Oscars, and this is my big night, I would have been like, honey, okay, because I want to talk about the joke too when I get ready to talk about Chris Rock. But some people are saying Will should have been like pulling him and saying, where you going, honey? Sit down now. What are you doing? Just sit down. Okay, that's who is on that level. Anybody in the comment section, do you think you would have tapped your husband or your boyfriend or your partner and said, you know what, this is not the time or place, I need for you to sit down? Because I think he also, I watched the YouTube, I can't think of it, but if you Google analysis of Jada Pinkett's behavior from the time she heard the joke as the person who was analyzing as it landed, they used the word how, how anything lands in our brain and it's set for a moment, how she reacted and how he would. It was so amazing how this behavior analyst broke it all down. Excellent on YouTube. Excellent. So, that's the topic of discussion. This whole situation, you can just bring out so much stuff to talk about. Can you imagine a child who's in school, an entertainment lawyer? I'm pretty sure their professor is having them to analyze this situation, give the pros and cons of it. If Chris Rock decides to sue, that's an excellent case for some young lawyers. I mean, the debate is gonna go on for hours. They're gonna probably have to set the clock, reset it over and over again. But so that's what Will. Okay, and I wanted to make sure I told you about what Denzel said. The devil will come after you when you are at your highest. And Denzel said he feels like the devil got a hold of him. And if you all remember, Will just reconciled with Aunt Viv, the lady who played Aunt Viv on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So if you think about Will's personality, everything he's done, I told my husband, I really wasn't surprised. I was like, Will's just showing the world how he acts, probably behind closed doors. And it escalated because his wife was involved. And unfortunately, the joke, okay, yes, it was a funny joke, but I suffer from alopecia. That's why I wear wigs. So it is a sore spot for anybody who, that's why I've never really been a fan of jokes. When I was a little girl, I didn't think jokes were funny. I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, it is funny, but they need to be tasteful jokes. And at the time when Chris delivered it, it wasn't the most tasteful joke. Although, of course, she did resemble G.I. Jane. Because I was like, oh, yeah, that would be awesome, a black G.I. Jane. I mean, that would be the bomb. But it didn't land. It didn't sit with her because she was suffering from alopecia. But we're going to talk about Chris. We're still on Will. We're still on some Will right now, and then we're going to talk about Chris. Okay. So with Will, I also believe sometimes things have to happen to people if you get beside themselves, if you get beside yourself. A level of exposure needs to happen so he can humble himself. We don't know. Because I can just, if it took him that long to apologize and reconcile with a grown woman who could have been his woman, and he was just a teenager on that set, and she said he was very, very mean. Well, you were very, very mean. He was the reason why the lady got fired. So, there are some underlying behaviors that has carried on Will for a long time. Okay, so that's my spin on Will. Okay, that's my spin on Will. He shouldn't have done it. He should have sat on his hands or something. Because I mean, like I told you from the beginning, I was in a situation where I felt like I needed to slap somebody, but I didn't do it because I thought about the consequences. But his mindset wasn't there. And I don't know, they probably should have given him a common bill because he had a whole lot going on. He really wanted to win it. That's all he wants, Oscars. Okay, they say he in Dubai right now, getting some mental help, and that's good. Somebody to help him with his spirit and body. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to touch on with Will. Now, Chris Rock. Chris Rock was cool as a cucumber. Okay, let me tell y'all something. Have y'all seen the meme with Tupac and Will? They was like, had that been Tupac, he probably would have shot Chris. I mean, he would have shot Will or something, But it's gonna be so much comedy behind this because of, their life has been exposed and on display in the cameras. But with Chris Rock, I commend him for standing. He was Dr. Martin Luther King, like, Dr. King say, turn your cheek. That was Dr. Martin King. That was Dr. Martin Luther King. Right now. He probably rose up from the casket and was like, all right, Chris, non-violence. I mean, Dr. King may have said that, non-violence. I don't know. Okay. Chris Rock. I'm clasping my hands because I got something to say. I commend you for doing that, Chris. You was like, okay, Will Smith just slapped a sugar honey iced tea out of me on national TV. This is the best day in history in TV. Okay. Curves in my closet. Thank you for joining me tonight. Chime on in. We are talking about the slap. Dr. King said, turn another cheek. We talking about that. Chris Rock. This is Sylvia Camille's opinion. Okay, this is just my opinion because I remember I told you all. Yes, Chris Rock was Gundy. Yes, Sherman. I already told y'all I've never been a fan of people. I've never been a fan of people poking on people ever since I was a little girl. I just didn't like that. I mean, yeah, you call me sensitive with all, I ain't like people talking about me and stuff because I don't think that's nice. Because you don't know why the person looks that way, acts like that, feels that way, smells that way, dresses that way. I rather find out a person's pathology, their journey in life, so I can better understand them. Now we know telling jokes that's a okay, he's a comedian. That's a professional career, and you get paid to make people laugh because laughter cures the soul. Okay, I get all that, but you can say jokes and do jokes in a tasteful way. So, okay, I'm not a comedian, but I do know that if you are hosting the Oscars, you are not looking at your script. I don't think so. 5 to 10 minutes before it airs. I believe they have a rehearsal. I don't know. I didn't research that. So what my point is, Chris Rock knows he's hosting the Oscars. You already know that Will Smith is up for an Oscar for playing Richard, Venus and Serena's father. He'll probably win. So if I were Chris Rock, I think, and I'm going now when people say black on black, we're not gonna give Will Smith a pass. I'm not gonna give Chris Rock a pass because you black and you probably read those jokes before, way before the Oscars, before we saw it that night. As a professional comedian, he had the option to me to say, I don't think I want. Let's take this one out. Okay, can y'all come up with something else? Now that's just my opinion. Because if you think about when Chris got ready to say the joke, the first thing he said was, and you think about it when you just playing cards with somebody and you finna do a dag on somebody, and it really not nice now. And what you say, girl, I'm gonna tell you about your shoes. Don't get mad at me, but your shoes ugly. Because you're trying to set the person up not to really respond. So what does Chris say? He says, Jada, I love you, girl. I knew I love you. But that new G.I. Jane, that movie too. And she like, did he just say that to me? Did he just crack a joke? So that's the conversation I want people to channel in with Chris Rock. If you're the professional and you sell out all these, because what they say the next day, when he had his he sold out, honey. He sold out. The tickets were $46, then they jumped up to $4,000. Now, if you bring in that kind of money, you know that you had the option of not even saying the joke. What y'all take on that? Somebody put something in the comment section for me. Sherman, what you think about that, Sherman? Curves in my closet. Dr. Balin, what you think? Because I would have been like, I would put a red. I'm like, y'all, I don't know. Because Chris had to feel a certain kind of way, because why would he have prefaced it? Why would he have said, Jada, I love you, and then he gonna say the joke and be like, y'all know that was a good one. That was a good one. Hey, I mean, that's just, I want the world, I want people to start talking about that conversation too, because we can't let Chris, because to me, that's black on black. All them people sitting out there, and I know if you sit up in the front row, but we know why they had Will in the front row, because they already knew he was gonna win. They ain't want him to have to walk from the back. Y'all know the person who getting the biggest award. It's strategic. It's strategic. It's mapped out. It's planned. We want the best leading actor, those people to be close up front. So if they do win, all thing they got to do is come on stage. Now, Chris Rock trying to tell him, and now he want to sue. Now, if he does sue, and if I was Will's lawyer, I would run that play in the courtroom. As a professional comedian, I know you saw this, and I would play the black on black card. It won't be black white on black or black on white. It would be black on black. What y'all think about it? I think he didn't realize it was. Yes, that's true, because that's what happens when you set it up. I think he didn't realize it would happen. A joke was just made about them earlier. See, yes. And that's why I want to talk about the human. That's my little points before we close. I had to look at my online pastor. I had to go search because I knew Jamal, Bishop, not Bishop Jamal, not Bishop right now, but Pastor Jamal Bryant, Pastor Newbirth. I knew Jamal had done a sermon on this. If y'all Google it, keep my wife's name out of your mouth. And those are the last little points I'm gonna do. We got about 5 more minutes. I'm gonna wrap up in about 5 more minutes. G.I. Jane Joe could have been a term of endearment. When that movie came out, it was empowerment for women. It was. That's so true. It could have. And one of the examples that Pastor Jamal talked about was, what if we had gone up on the stage and said, you know what, Chris, let's not bash women. Let's not bash a Black woman. I mean, it's so many spins on it. I guess that's why I like talking about it, because just from this one situation, it's so many layers of discussion that can be so in depth and bring new acknowledgments, new feelings. I guess my thing from this situation is not to just focus on the negative of the physical slap, because unfortunately it happened. We know it was wrong. We wish she could have handled it differently. But now let's use it as a lesson. What lessons or what things can we teach and learn from it so this type of behavior won't happen again? Alfred Lee says the human sight is hard to predict. I don't think he thought it would end up like, no, he didn't. Nobody does. Whenever you go confront somebody, anything, you don't know how anybody's going to respond, because we don't know their mental capacity at the time when like I have to go back to, I confronted a good friend of mine over a year now. She is still not speaking to me. But I can't be upset because I chose to confront her, which was something that was bothering me, and I had to release it. Now, I can't get mad that she didn't receive it the way I wanted her to receive it, because I want her to receive and be like, okay, come here, we talk about that, and we keep on moving on. But no, she needs space. She needs time to go away. But I chose to confront instead of slap. And my confronting in verbal conversation has turned out almost 2 years of not speaking to each other. So after you're correct, the human sight is hard to predict. I don't think Chris didn't know that was gonna happen, but he knew something was happening as soon as he turned around. He said, "Oh, there go Richard," because he's like, "Oh, Will is literally acting like he finna take up." Also, I think Will has been holding in some trauma for a minute. Oh, this hey, Miss Lee. Miss Lee is our clinical therapist at our school, guys. Yes, he has been holding some. He has. But anybody to get up out that seat at the Oscars, I mean, this is almost like the presidential inaugural. Had somebody jumped out of their seat and President Barack Obama was being sworn in, and then somebody jumped out, and you know something wrong with them. It is just so much to unpack. So much to unpack. I respect everybody's opinions, because my sister not go back. My sister like, oh, he shouldn't have done that, Camille. And I'm like, chum, I know he should not. Girl, he should not have done that. That is wrong. We all know that was wrong. Will, come on now. And we have to remember, Will is a human. And something that Jamal pointed out, he said, we cannot forget that the people that we see on TV, and just because they're millionaires and they're rich and they are put on a pedestal for their entertainment, yes, don't forget that they're human. And we can't be like, oh, he shouldn't have done that. He know better than that. He know better than that. He been to the Oscars, blah, 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 blah. No. His emotions, he didn't have his session before. A lot. And also what I learned, that Chris Rock goes to a therapy session 7 hours a week. You got to read up, if you have a moment to go read up about him. He suffered from self-esteem when he was in school. So here's Christopher Julius Rock. That's his full name. Christopher Julius Rock. Stand-up comedian, actor, writer, producer, and film director. Award, Grammy Award for Best Comedy Album, 57 years old. Okay, he's married. Okay. Should he sue? Should he also apologize? And should he be judged? Should we just say he's a comedian and we let him off the hook? No, we run out of time. 30 minutes and 36 seconds, guys. I mean, it's just so good. It's real good. But the points I want to put out from the sermon, if you have a chance to Google that. All of us this week, handle our anger, get our emotions in check. The bad decisions you have made in your life, God will overlook them and still bless us. God looked beyond his faults. Everybody has a breaking point. Was it a breaking point for Will that night? And Chris Rock said he's afraid to get angry because you got to read. It's an interesting story. When he was in school, he was at a white school. Some white boys were bullying him. One day he packed his bag with some bricks. Chris Rock beat one of the white boys almost to death. They had called an ambulance. The child, thank God, survived. But from that point on, Chris Rock, he was like, he has control of his anger. But isn't that interesting for somebody who got bullied when he was younger? Then you become a comedian and you tell, most of your jokes are not the nicest. I would love to talk to him about that. How could you end up in a profession where you telling jokes to make people laugh, and sometimes those jokes that you're giving are cruel, like what he said, it didn't set right for Jada. And for other people who we just don't know about. And you experienced this type of bullying when you were younger. So they so deep. This week, if you find yourself getting angry, something like that, don't slap anybody, Lord, please. We don't want to do that. Try to hold your peace and let the Lord fight your battles. We have to listen to Yolanda Adams. This battle's not yours. It's the Lord's. And I love the fact that Denzel Washington and, of course, my Tyler Perry went to the side and they prayed with Will. Because Denzel said at that moment, at that time, that's the only thing he could think of do. And that's what we do when stuff in our life, some people don't want to admit it, but you got to ask for God to come in and help you, because you just can't be doing that. You just can't be going around slapping nobody. And like they said, had Will been any other black man, we know he would have been arrested that night. He would have been arrested. They didn't do anything to him. The academy was like, okay, that Will sit down. We know in 15 minutes he can ready to win, and he gonna go up there and say his speech. Now, where is that? Because had we done something like that at Kroger at the church, honey, they wouldn't call the police on us so fast. Lock. We been in East Point Police, DeKalb County, Douglas County, somewhere. So I have thoroughly enjoyed y'all. What did y'all do with spring break? Let me see. Okay. Thanks so much, Shermy. Thank you. Oh, this is another thing that this right here, this point about Will Smith defending Jada. Some people think it's violent. Do you think you want your husband or your loved one to defend you like that? I don't know if I like that. Now I can see if the person had a gun or something like that, and we trying to defend each other. So, but words, I don't know about that. I don't know. I told you we hadn't walked through his path, we hadn't walked his shoes, we don't know all that what he was feeling. But we just know the boy we happy he get himself some help over in Dubai. Last point, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. I have enjoyed you all so much. Before God can elevate you, he has to get the anger out of you. Let that sit. Let that rest. Before God can elevate you, he has to get the anger out of you. That's all Sylvia Camille has. That's all I have. Control that anger this week. I'm gonna do my best. And what y'all do for spring break? Somebody put in the comment real quick. Because I was nothing more than a couch potato. I was getting ready for, yesterday, I had a show in Ronald Robbins, Georgia. It was real nice, sanctified. So hopefully it'll come back to Atlanta. If not, somewhat close. And you didn't get to see it, but it was awesome. It's a musical comedy gospel play, written and directed by Javon Johnson, who plays Richard on the oboe. So that was real fun. The Warner Roberts show. We had a nice little crowd. Nice crowd. So I hope y'all got some rest. All right. Like, comment, share, ask your friends and families to go ahead and subscribe to Sylvia Camille's YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, next Sunday is Easter, so there's no telling where I'm going to be. I might go live from a restaurant, live at home. We're going to find out what's going on. Don't forget, let me put it. Remember, we're all about dream big. That's our platform. To hear stories about people's journeys, their dreams. Can you imagine your dream is to win an Oscar? And Lord have mercy, you go on national TV. Well, that's all I got to say. Don't y'all slap nobody this week. Smooches. Love you guys. Thanks for joining me. Like, comment, share. See you next week.